Hello everybody and welcome to another limited deck building video. In this one I'm joined by, as you can see, Travis. And as you can see up there, it's also Travis. It's Travis. Well, I mean, you only see one Travis. I see two Travises.
Normally that one's on that screen. I was confused.
Yeah.
I just started talking.
I saw the requests in the previous limited deck building video where you said you wanted more of these, so we're gonna try to make them more frequent, even if realistically most of the decks end up being pretty similar if you want to win. Like, if you want to do something a bit janky, it's very easy to build a janky bad deck with a limited collection. But if you want to build a good deck with a limited collection, they're going to look very similar.
Yeah.
However, today we are doing four decks for a four-player game. And we are using Revised Core. We are using Dunwich, Path Carcosa, both the Investigator expansions, as well as all 5 of the starter decks. So the Nathaniel Cho, Harvey Walters, Winifred Habermuck, Jacqueline Fine, and Stella Clark. Those 5 decks. If you do not have those, we actually aren't using a lot of cards in them in a good chunk of the decks. Like Mark, I think, only has 2 cards in here. However, when you get to someone like Wendy Adams, you might feel it a bit more, or even like in Rex, the economy is going to hurt a tiny bit because burning the Midnight Oil doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a good piece of economy. But you could just swap these out with other cards that you feel like are good in your collection, or alternatively, you can ask in the comments and I will respond to them. So, Travis, what was our goal for this? Actually, before we get into Mark, let's introduce who our 4 investigators are. We have Mark, who is going to fight for us, pretty easy. We have Rex, who is going to clue get for us, also very easy. You can find a link to all these decks down in the description, by the way. We have Akachi, who is going to flex for us. She's going to fight and get clues. And then we have Wendy Adams, who is also going to, also kind of fight and get clues, but a bit leaning more on the clue getting side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's more important.
So, there really is like no good way for when you're starting to build your team comp. Like, you just got to figure out like what roles do people want to play. So with this one, we decided we wanted Mark to fight. Well, Travis decided. Travis chose the investigators for this one. Mark to fight. Then we chose Akachi, because a mystic.
A purple character,
Yeah. We had Wendy, who came in next because another great flex, and also she can play green, and then Travis doesn't need to build a green investigator for this video.
Yeah.
And then Rex was the last one because Travis said we don't build a lot of Rex decks on the channel, which is ultimately true. Yeah. These are all built without the taboo list in mind. So Travis, what were we thinking for Mark Harrigan as we built this guy?
He needs to kill things, and that's it.
Yeah.
When you're playing with 4 players, you're going to draw an enemy like most rounds. And you need to have someone who is available to do with that, and they also need to be able to deal with like potentially 4 enemies around. Or your team comp does in some capacity. So yeah, we don't play any cards that can get clues, because that's Rex's job. And we just kill things. That's it. We have 5 weapons, and to prepare for the worst, because you always need weapons. And if you don't, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Got our beat cops for extra fist, our guard dogs and true grits for heart soak, because you need that for Mark's ability to keep him above water. And then we have some clean them out, some emergency caches, and stand togethers for economy. We have lots of assets that we want to be playing. They're going to cost us a decent amount of money. Glory for a bit of card draw, which isn't super important for Mark, so you can also feasibly dump them into a book test for another investigator to help them go over a hump. And 2 shortcuts is a nice little movement option, so you can potentially either get an ally out of a dangerous situation or get yourself into the fray and spend all of your actions attacking.
Yeah.
On the skill side of things, pretty simple. We got Guts and Overpower, because those are the good ones for Mark. And we have Vicious Blows, because we like to do more damage.
Yeah, we have to kill. That's our job.
We have the Home Front, because we have to, and also we want to. And we have a single copy of Inspiring Presence, because it plays quite nicely with upgraded beat cop, as well as some of the allies in the other decks.
Yeah, even guard dog too. It's just even healing for more damage output.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing. One thing as well, I said that there was only 2 cards, but also losing Stand Together from the Nathaniel Cho deck. It's a really good economy card that helps everybody. Well, you and one other person, which in a team game helps everybody.
That's everybody.
That's a tough one to replace, but we highly recommend. One of the earliest pickups we recommend is the 5 starter decks if they are in stock for you.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk a bit about Rex here. So like how Mark exists only to fight, Rex exists only to get clues. So we're not looking at playing any of the Seeker kill spells, even though they are good.
Yeah, you don't need to.
But we don't need to because Mark's going to do that, and then also Akachi and
if
Wendy
you're in a
are
position where Mark, Akachi, and Wendy cannot handle an enemy and you need to, you have made
Lost.
a horrible mistake. Or have lost the game.
Yeah. So we have, for our hand slots, we have 2 flashlights and 2 magnifying glasses to help us get clues. We're running the Lucky Cigarette cases in this deck, even though they could be in the Wendy deck when we get to it. It really can come down to personal preference. I saw Bryn play Lucky Cigarette Case with Rex, and it worked really well.
Yeah, you want to succeed by 2 anyway.
Yeah, this also could be something where, like, he runs 1 Lucky Cigarette Case, and another one can go to Wendy, but we went 2 with this one because drawing cards is a good time, and he's already built to succeed by 2, and you're going to succeed by 2. We have Dr. Milan for our main ally. He is here to give us book and also money. He's very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Maelson is here just as a soak. Like, he can die for us, which is...
That's actually it.
Yeah. Yeah. Going into our event side, we have a big package of events. Burning the Midnight Oil is a great economy card. This is from the Harvey Walters deck, so if you don't have it, once again, highly pick it up. It's very quietly a really good economy card.
It's a very good economy.
Yeah. Cutting Distraction is another one of our splash cards. You're going to have the money because you're going to be getting lots of money out of Dr. Milan Christopher, so this lets you do something really good with it. We said we didn't really have a way to deal with enemies in this deck, but really...
This is the panic button.
Yes.
The team's panic button.
Yeah, because this also... Don't feel bad about committing this as a guts if things are going well and you want to pass a test. I'll get back to the Delve to Deep, but going back to more economy, we have Emergency Cash. No Stone Unturned will help you or another investigator find the card that they are looking for. This can be particularly good with Akachi or Mark. If for some reason they miss on their Prepared for the Worst of their guns or Akachi doesn't get a spell, this is really good at helping them find that.
Yep.
We have Preposterous Sketches for you to draw more cards because cards are king. We have Searching for the Truth, which also lets you draw a lot of cards because cards are king.
I love yellow cards.
And then we have Working a Hunch as just a fast discover a clue at your location. Going back to up here, we got Delve Too Deep. We're running these in Mark's deck. They could be in Akachi's deck. Sorry, in Rex's deck, thank you. We're running these in Rex's deck because he has the card draw to consistently find 2 of them in a scenario.
Yeah.
You can run them the whole time, but you can also replace them with some of the upgrades as well when the time comes. Going to our skills, nice and simple. We have Deductions to get more clues because Deductions is great. Eureka to get more cards. Inquiring Mind to help boost.
To pass tests.
Yeah. And then Perception to get books. More book.
Nice, simple Rex deck. We did say that we're not building this with Taboo in mind, but if you build this deck, you should still probably tell your Rex player that his ability is limited to once per round, because it will kind of break the game if you don't.
Especially in 4-player. Because it's not that noticeable in 2. It's somewhat noticeable in 3. And then, I mean, it actually is still very noticeable in 2. What am I kidding?
Yeah, because
you
you're
still get the clues.
An investigator is a hat guide worth of clues.
But like in 4... Oh my god. Just there's 2 clues per investigator, 3 investigates, you get...
Yeah, they're like, there's 8 clues in this location, you're like, okay.
Yeah, now there's 2 left.
Yeah.
It's wild. Alright, you're going to talk about the most exciting deck of all, Travis. Akachi.
Hey, I picked it, okay? So Akachi wants to play purple cards and spells. We have Ritual Candles because we couldn't come up with anything else to put in the hand slots. We have our spells. We have Azure, Flame, Clairvoyance, Rite of Seeking, and Shriveling because getting clues and finding enemies are important things to do. We have 2 Holy Rosaries because you need... need is a strong word when you start with 5, but it's nice to have extra brain. It's something in the accessory slot as well. Arcane Initiate and David Renfield are sort of the backbone of our economy, providing a constant source of spells from the Arcane Initiate as well as resources from David Renfield. And they both have Doom on them, so you don't feel bad about just pushing them under the bus when it comes to it. We got 2 copies of Draw into the Flame as a nice, easy way to pick up some free clues. These could definitely be evasion spells if that's something that you decide you want.
Yep.
The Ineffable Truth is like a solid choice. I think it's also your only choice. Because
Miss is Forgotten Age, yep.
Yeah, so you could do that, but Draw into the Flame is like just a really good card.
Yeah. Ineffable Truth also does have the bonus where it deals damage as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Emergency Cash and Uncaged Soul help pay for your million assets that you're going to try and play.
Yeah.
Ward of Protection is Ward of Protection. Not having to deal with encounter cards is always very good and pairs very nicely with the Draw into the Flames. And then from our skill side of things, we have Guts, because that's the skill that you care about. We have Unexpected Courage, because It's also guts.
Yeah, it's also
and
guts.
You do have nice numbers for boosting up to, like putting yourself up to 4 book or 5 foot for random treachery or investigation check or whatever is a good place to be. Even 5 punch to like knock a health off an enemy.
Yep.
That can be relevant. Then we have Torrent of Power. You should have the charges on your assets to make decent use out of this, especially because of Akachi's ability where your assets come into play with an additional charge on them. And you can really just juice your brain for a test that you need to pass, or someone else, one of your teammates who's at your location who maybe, like, I don't know, really needs to pass that Frozen in Fear test or that Crypt Chill test. And worst case scenario, I mean, it's not even worst case scenario, but you can spend all your charges to make Rex succeed by a lot.
Yeah. Just do that. Anytime you make the Seeker happy, it's a better table overall. They are the main characters of this story.
Yeah.
Wendy. So she is kind of our flex, leaning more to the clue side. Her stat line means it's like, hey, don't fight. But we're still going to fight a little bit by using our foot.
Yeah.
So to get clues, we have Flashlight, level 0 lockpicks, and Old Keyring. The level 0 lockpicks could be something else. Like, a lot of people don't like level 0 lockpicks because they can break, and that is true. However, a lot of times I find it easier, especially when you have a limited collection, to just, if you're going to be upgrading, just put the level 0 version in your deck. Unless it's like Switchblade.
Yep.
But we're not doing that here. This one's not Switchblade. It's not that bad.
Level 0 lockpicks are quite strong for Wendy anyway, I think, because if you just draw a different token if it's not good enough.
Yeah,
right?
exactly that as well, because she has that built-in security in her ability. Yeah. We have Rabbit's Foot for her amulet. This could be the Lucky Cigarette case, as we said, but you still might fail some skill tests, and turning them into cards is also a good time.
Yeah.
And then our ally of choice is going to be Granny Orn. This is mostly as well for the upgraded version, which is going to get really powerful when we get to the upgrades for these decks.
If you don't have the investigator decks, this could very easily be Peter Celeste.
Yeah, very easily.
Yes,
yeah.
they're like almost the same for Wendy, to be honest.
Yeah. In our events, we have Look What I Found. If you fail, you get more clues. We have Backstab, which lets you fight with your foot and deals +2 damage. That's nice. This is going to be really good when you get to like the higher part of the deck and you can have some fail security beyond just your ability as well.
Yep.
Very good for that with Wendy. E-Cash lets us get more resources. Lucky, how about you pass instead? Always a good time.
It's all Wendy does.
Yeah. Sneak Attack, deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy at your location. You're going to be dealing with enemies a lot by just evading them sometimes, and then you could just stab them while they're down.
Yep.
And then last card here is we have Sneak By as a form of economy, but also +2 foot. It's basically like a more versatile manual dexterity.
Yeah.
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 Our skills are pretty simple. We have Quick Thinking to take more turn. We have Resourceful to get back the really good survivor cards like Lucky, Look What I Found. And that's kind of it. But also, you could grab a Take Heart with it.
I mean, like your Granny Orn, if she dies,
if she dies, you can grab another
damage. You can get back your old key rings.
And then also, once we get stronger cards in our upgrades, grabbing those as well also is nice.
Yep.
And then Take Heart is here for some economy. This can be really well. You're for sure to pass a lot of tests. You're sure to fail a lot of tests. Like if you ever want to punch a guy, you can be like, you know what, I'm just going to punch this guy to turn this into cards and resources. And then as well, sometimes people pass when they play Take Heart, but Wendy could discard a card to
try again. Yeah.
Try again if you don't value that card.
Yeah, like that card, Take Heart has a lot of value for Wendy because you have more control over the chaos bag than most people.
Yeah.
And you are going to be in situations where like you want to fail tests. Like it's pretty sweet if you can dump a Take Heart into an investigation and fail it. Get off a Look What I Found and also a Rabbit's Foot trigger. That's like 3 cards and 2 clues for nothing.
Yeah. Seems good. And then we have Unexpected Courage because her stat line also boasts the versatility of it very well.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so those are the level 0 decks, but we're going to, instead of like doing like an upgrade path, as I usually do with this limited deck series, we have just a pool of cards for you to consider. So, Travis, I'll throw you back to good old Mark Harrigan as we go to these upgrades over here.
Yeah, a lot of the cards that we are looking at upgrading to for all these investigators are just better versions of what you're playing.
Yeah.
But we got to upgrade Beat Cops, who is, I mean, like if you've watched really a lot of our content, you'll know how good this card is. We play a lot. He's killed a lot of guys.
He has killed a lot of guys. And if you haven't watched a lot of our stuff and you haven't played B-Cop, he's very good.
Yes, he is.
He's very good.
He'll kill a lot of guys.
Yeah.
We have Brother Xavier. This is sort of a replacement for the Guard Dog or the True Grits, depending on what you're building into. Giving you +1 brain puts up to a nice comfortable 4. Can soak damage for your teammates. The 3 brain helps protect your kind of fragile 5 brain. When he dies, you can deal 2 damage to enemy at your location.
Yeah, very nice.
All for a low cost of 1 experience.
Yep.
We got Charisma here, which lets you have more allies in play. It's good for if you want to transition to sort of ally build. You can cut the True Grits for Brother Xavier if you're picking up Charisma as well. If you decide you want to spend that 3 experience for the Charisma on something else, maybe you cut the Guard Dogs for Brother Xavier, but just a nice pickup. Ever Vigilant is a solid economy card and pairs very well with our Stick to the Plan that we have down here. Yeah. This card will basically ensure that you will never not start the game with a weapon in play.
Yeah.
Which is all you could ever want.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's about
Let's go to this one.
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah, like Lightning Gun.
You ever roll up to an enemy and you just like 10 punch.
Yeah. One thing that's very noticeable is that, like, as we're talking about these upgrade packages you could do, you can go the ally way or you could go like the big gun way.
Yeah.
But really the Stick to the Plan works in both. The Stick to the Plan Ever Vigilant fits in both of those plans.
Yeah.
And then we also have for the big guns,
extra ammunition. It's also an okay pickup for if you're not leaning into the lightning gun. Not great, but like it's a solid choice.
But it is essentially another copy of Lightning Gun if you already have it out.
Yeah, no, like if you're going lightning gun, you want these.
Yeah. And then we have Overpower.
Is better.
And Vicious Blow.
It's just better.
Yeah. All right, over here to Mr. Rex Murphy. Let's start with Higher Education because the card's really good. And it works really well with Rex, Lucky Cigarette Case, and Dr. Milan Christopher.
I like the Lucky Cigarette Case is just gravy.
It's true, yeah. It is just a little bit on top. But so with Higher Education, you get to spend a resource to get +2 book, and then if you succeed with Dr. Milan, you get a resource back, which you can then put into Higher Education, all while grabbing multiple amounts of clues. It's very strong.
Yeah, so because you get +2 book and you succeed by 2 to get the extra clue, you just like need to kind of succeed the test, like not counting this +2.
Yeah, you need to have 5 cards in hand, which, oh no.
Yeah, remember when we were talking about the deck, we're like, this card draws cards, this card draws cards, this card also draws cards.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an issue.
So speaking of cards that draw cards, we have Cryptic Research. This lets fast choose an investigator at your location. They draw 3 cards. It's not a priority upgrade by any means, but it is a very strong card.
It's very good.
Strong. 4 experience is a big chunk, especially on the campaign you're playing, but it is a very nice card. Any other card draw we have here? This is kind of like card draw, but it's like getting the card you want. It's the upgraded No Stone Unturned. They get to search their deck instead. Go into some nice classics. We have upgraded Deduction, more of a great thing. What's better than a great thing? More of it. More of that great thing.
Yeah, so with Deduction level 2, you need to if you succeed by 2 with Rex, which you already want to do, you get an entire Hatman's worth of clues.
Yes.
You get 4 clues to 1 investigation.
That's incredible. That's a
lot.
That's incredible. We have Forewarned, when you can cancel a treachery card by placing a clue down on your location. Oh, shucks, right?
Darn.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, like, you get to the location and there's like, oh no, there's an odd number. I know, I'll put one down, and then you get pure value from your ability.
Yeah.
And it's even better. Magnifying Glass just gives you more book. I mean, we already talked about this. It's just cheaper. You can return it to your hand, which is notable with Higher Education if you are going that route. Perception, more of a good thing. We have Seeking Answers, which you can investigate if you succeed. You can discover 2 clues from your location and connecting locations, but because you are also investigating, if you succeed by 2, you get to also discover a clue from your location.
Yeah, this card can be worth 3 clues too.
Yeah. And then last but not least, it doesn't have a picture, but it's a Necronomicon. Card's busted.
I don't think it's like busted. It'd be like pretty fair in this deck, I think.
That is true.
You don't have a way to dig it up.
Yeah.
You don't have a way to refill the secrets or reuse it. It's just like a really strong, fun card for you to play with.
Yeah.
Or you could commit for 5 book to guarantee get you extra clues.
Yeah. Let's go.
Not play it and get 2 clues.
All right, Travis, you think you can handle this?
Yeah, okay. So, going down the list, we have Azure Flame 3, which is a better version of Azure Flame 0, and then we have Azure Flame 5, which is a better version of Azure Flame 3. We have Clairvoyance 3, which is a better version of Clairvoyance 0, and Clairvoyance 5, which is a better version of Clairvoyance 3. The same things are true for Shriveling, but there's a little bit of a wrinkle.
I have the wrong word of protection.
You do have the wrong word of protection. There's a little bit of wrinkle for Rite of Seeking, where Rite of Seeking is level 2, which is a better version of Rite of Seeking level 0, and Rite of Seeking level 4 is a better version of Rite of Seeking level 2.
Hopefully you can keep up with that.
Yeah, it's a tough one to wrap your head around, I know, but we have Guts, which is a better version of Guts level 0.
Yep.
We have Ward of Protection, which should be Ward of Protection level 2.
Yeah, I'll change that after this video.
Yeah, so Ward of Protection level 2 is you can cancel a treachery card drawn by any investigator.
Yes. This one guy right here.
Yeah.
Notably, there are people who like Ward of Protection 5, and like the card is strong, but in multiplayer, especially 4 players, being able to protect from... Because Ancient Evils hits particularly hard in 4 player.
Yeah.
In 2 player, they're not that scary. In 3 player, you better have the tempo to keep up, but in 4, even with good tempo, losing 12 actions is a lot. Like, even with good tempo.
Yeah, so you want to save them for that.
Yeah.
Then the other card we have here for, like, any amount of build diversity is Grotesque Statue, where we have the level 2 and level 4 version. It's a nice upgrade from the ritual candles in your hand slots to make you more likely to succeed your test, less likely to suffer the downsides of your various spells, and Akachi gets an extra charge on them.
Yes.
Just a nice place to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Which ones you want to upgrade is going to depend almost entirely on like what your teammates upgrade, as well as like how the game is going.
Yep.
What campaign you're playing and stuff. So just gotta kind of feel it out.
All right. Last upgrades we got here is Wendy's upgrades. So I'm going to go through just the ones that make them better to just start. So we have the better, look what I found, 3 or less from your location and connecting locations. Just more of a good thing. We have upgraded Granny Orrin, which is probably one of the bigger upgrades. And
this
like,
one's probably a priority.
Yeah, so you get +1 book as well, which is going to be good because you're going to be investigating. And 4 books, not nothing, right? Like it's still a good number, especially when you have Granny's secondary ability, which is now you can basically, she's like a half lucky. She's like a half lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
her half lucky ability is particularly important for Wendy because it means that you don't have to. It's like drawing cards almost because you don't have to spend cards to re-roll the chaos token that makes you fail by 1.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And then also if you fail by a bunch, you can still get the +1 to get yourself in Look What I Found range.
Yep.
And for some reason you get 4 under, and this can get you to 3 under. The upgrade of Look What I Found being 3 is like so hard to miss on.
It really is.
It's kind of wild.
Like, if you're failing by more than 3, like, you probably had an auto-fail.
Yeah. Upgraded lockpicks, now you are less likely to break them.
Yep.
Yeah. We have the upgraded Lucky. We have upgraded Lucky 2, which just replaces itself, and then we have upgraded Lucky 3, which is just very powerful. Cost 0. Anytime an investigator location would fail a test, they get +3, which, as we just said, with Look What I Found, 3 is a huge boost. Yeah. And they also get a draw card. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then upgraded Sneak Attack is just an enemy not engaged with you at your location. It's a way for you to avoid having to evade them first if someone else has them. If you still have them, you will need to obviously evade them or disengage with them in some other way. But if someone else draws them, now you don't need to do that middle step of being like, hey, I'm going to engage them, evade them, then stab them. I'm just going to stab them and I have 2 more actions left to do what I want with.
Yeah.
And then some of the fun cards, we have Eucatastrophe. It's like a super lucky.
Yeah.
Wendy's star isn't like particularly great. Some would say it's even like just kind of bad.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just
bad in terms of Elder Signs.
Good.
Yeah.
It just kind of does nothing.
Yeah. But still being able to turn an auto-fail into a success is a notable thing.
In case you've drawn the auto-fail twice in a row.
Yeah. And then we have Will to Survive, which is just a good card that we don't talk about, so we said, hey, we should put it here.
Yeah, we never have talked about Will to Survive ever.
Yeah. Like, we just kind of like talk, we just say, hey, this is like, whenever we talk about it, we say, hey, this is a good card we don't talk about enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Wendy, it's once again not particularly exciting because she can just ensure that she passes through other ways.
Yeah.
But it is an option for you to consider.
Yeah. In that same vein, like I would kind of tangentially relate to what you just said. If you're playing with a group of newer players, I would recommend trying to have your most experienced player play the Wendy deck. So you don't get to do big flashy things like the other investigators. You don't get to go around firing off a lightning gun or getting 4 clues in 1 action or whatever. You do lots of little things and you just never don't do them. You never fail at them.
Yeah.
And it's not like super exciting or interesting for some people to play, and it's hard for them to wrap their head around it, especially like which cards to discard.
Yeah, it has a lot of decision points too that other players won't, because Mark just draws his token, or Rex just draws his token. He's like, I was up
it's
4.
a goal, bang.
Yeah. Or it's like, I just draw my token and then I pass or fail. With Wendy, it's like, okay, I failed this. Is this worth a card?
Yeah.
But those are our 4 decks for our limited deck building for 4 players. If you want to see more of this in the future, please let us know down in the comments. Likewise, if you need any ideas for replacements because you might not have the starter investigator decks, hit me up in the comments and I will respond. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.